Oftentimes, a building is used for one of two reasons: to give space to a large number of people, for either work or living, or to simply show one's power and influence. These structures are some of the most expensive ones in the world. So why did they just get abandoned like that? It seems like such a waste of time and money. Here are some of the most expensive, yet abandoned structures in the world. Rio Gong Hotel. Rio Gong Hotel, a 1,080-foot tall tower, was built in 1987 for $750 million in Pyongyang, North Korea. Of course, it was intended to be used as a hotel, but it was never finished. There were plans for a partial opening in 2018, but that never went through. Construction took a long time, but eventually they just abandoned the project. It looks like they'll never open its doors now. Land of Oz. There's nothing more magical than the Land of Oz, as portrayed in the Wizard of Oz film. It was built in 1970 by Carrie Fisher, of Star Wars fame in North Carolina. It was designed by Jack Pentas and cost $5 million to create. Over 44,000 bricks were glazed yellow to create the famous Yellow Brick Road. Unfortunately, in 1975, a fire destroyed two buildings containing a great deal of the park's equipment, and after struggling for another 5 years, the park closed in 1980. It's been wasting away ever since. The Aquatic Stadium Rio de Janeiro. This is a rather recent abandoned structure. When the Rio de Janeiro won its bid for the 2016 Olympics, they were to construct a variety of stadiums for the event. One such stadium was the Aquatic Stadium, with construction starting in 2014. It cost $38 million to build, and was certainly a spectacle when it was in use. However, as with many Olympic stadiums, it had no real purpose after the games were concluded. It's been wasting away ever since. Szs Pod City. Szs Pod City was an interesting project that started back in 1978 in Taiwan. It was originally planned to be a vacation spot for US military officers, but the project was never completed. A series of strange occurrences led to investors backing out in 1980. The project was since abandoned, although some explorers still check out the area. The entire project cost $50 million. Bozludza Monument City. The Bozludza Monument sits atop Bozludza Peak in central Bulgaria. It serves as a reminder of the Bulgarian Communist Party. With construction beginning in 1974, it was designed by 𝐥𝐤𝐬𝐿. When it was finished in 1981, it had cost around $35 million, adjusted for inflation. There were many fine details, including extensive mosaics that covered over 90 square meters. However, the monument was abandoned in 1989. Weather, vandals, and other factors have negatively impacted the overall design. There's a project to preserve what's left, however. 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐤. Near the Singapore Botanic Gardens is a palace known as the 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐤. It was built in 1932 as a home for the Sultan Ibrahim and his wife, Sultana Helen, a Scottish-born woman. The government purchased the house, as well as the estate, Tyersall Park, in 1990, but there were no efforts to restore it. The property had apparently cost $3.7 billion in the first place, and when a fire completely destroyed the property in 2006, the place was practically done for. Burge Alba Bus. Developers in 2014 decided to build the Burge Alba Bus, a Turkish building situated between Istanbul and Ankara. It was intended to be the construction of several pristine homes, luring in buyers looking for vacation homes. It was a $200 million investment that made plenty of sense. However, the company that made the investment busted in 2018, leaving these homes unfinished, and no one's taken over the project since then. 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐿 Palace Hotel. The 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐿 Palace Hotel opened in 1972, and it quickly gained a reputation as an establishment for the elite. It was an incredibly lavish location in what was then part of Yugoslavia, presently Croatia. It made sense, considering it cost $45 million to create. But by the next year, the casino had already gone bust and closed down. New managers attempted to salvage the rest, but it didn't pan out. The structure is still closed today. However, new developers plan to redevelop the location. Chernobyl. Everyone knows what Chernobyl is. Anyone that doesn't clearly doesn't know much about history. It's a real shame, as the city was built in 1978. the nuclear power plant there hadn't suffered a meltdown, it might still be a bustling community. The cost of everything was around $1.5 billion. Hashima Island. Hashima Island is 16 acres long and is one of the abandoned islands in Nagasaki, Japan. Back in 1959, only 5,000 people lived there, but now it's a ghost town. All of the resources of the town, namely coal, had been fully tapped by 1974. Because of the remnants of civilization, it became a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so it still draws in some tourists. However, the weather can be a bit harsh, making it only logical to visit during certain times of the year. The town was worth around $50 million. Balaclava Submarine Base. The Balaclava Submarine Base is located in the Ukraine city under the same name. It was commissioned in 1953 by Joseph Stalin, wanting to design top-secret projects and hidden locations to store submarines. It took 8 years and $1.3 billion to build, but Stalin got what he wanted. But by 1993, it was closed completely and left entirely unsecured. It later became the property of the Ukrainian army and is currently a military museum. Athens Olympics Venue. Another Olympics venue. This one was built in Athens, Greece for the 2004 Olympic Games. The city spent $11 billion on the Olympics in general, with $160 million going specifically to the Olympic Village and its accommodations. Despite how much money went into it, it was of course abandoned as soon as the games were concluded. The government hoped to turn the locations into housing, but a majority of the village was never repurposed. And with that, we've reached the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for content just like it.